Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible. With special thanks to Nine Knives, Revenant, Alois, Anerdinwarpaint, Dragon Matrix 7, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Lima, Nathan Welch Jr., Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, as we finally set our sights on Act 2. Granted, it's taken us about 20 hours and change to get here, and we're still only maybe 1/5 of the way through the overall campaign, but one step at a time, progress is being made. At the very least, we can finally dive into the Crusade and actual Mythic system, which are, of course, two big selling points for this campaign. That said, I should note that we are in for a fair bit of talking here because they have to set up the new act, and of course there's going to be a lot of lore and story stuff getting thrown at us. But I figured that's going to be about 2 episodes. We should be back out in the field by episode 24. Oh, and of course I should also note that I did go ahead and set our mythical abilities off screen. I basically went with the ones I already outlined last time. I'll go ahead and put them on screen for those of you who don't remember. There were some new options, just nothing that really seemed more appealing than what I was already planning to take. Anyway, like I said, we've got a lot of chatter ahead of us, so let's jump right in. Get this train wreck rolling.
Make way. Warrior Queen coming through with a round for the heroes. Whoa, the heart is packed. And you considered nixing this little shindig, Beth?
When Anevia reaches the long table your party is gathered around, she heavily flops onto the bench and hands out the tankards of beer.
I did consider it, and I am still considering it. It hasn't even been a week since the last demon was booted out of Canabris. And we really should be in a period of mourning for all the city's fallen. But the people deserve to celebrate. And he deserves to be honored for saving the city and possibly all of Mendhov.
I mostly did it for the gold, but, you know, if you still want to heap praise on me, don't let that stop you.
Now that's how you celebrate your achievements.
Anevia toasts you with her tankard.
According to the Watch reports, there has been no demon activity whatsoever outside Canabris. I get the feeling the fiends are as shocked by what happened as we are. What happened in the garrison, what you did, it was a miracle. I truly believe that the gods remembered us and decided to intervene.
Irabeth rubs her forehead pensively.
Beth, come on, you agreed. No serious business today.
All right, I'm done. No more. Who would have thought we'd be celebrating a successful attack on the Grey Garrison, our own fortress, and that we'd blow the roof off the place?
It's simply unforgivable.
Comes the cheerful voice of someone sitting at the far corner of the table. Which I guess would be this person. Interesting. I don't recognize the coloration on that armor. Have we seen that particular heraldry?
While we're on the topic of the roof, there's already a rumor going around that you have been blessed by Iomedae herself. And it was her power granted to you that destroyed the garrison's walls and roof. And it turns out the people want a little piece of that blessing for themselves. The townsfolk are gathering chunks of the garrison's rubble as souvenirs and talismans. And I'm sure they'll hit the black market soon enough. Oh, yeah. Here, read on this for me. Or good luck.
Anevia pulls a piece of gray stone from her pocket. What, so people are just buying rocks now? Wonder if I can get in on that.
I know a guy who knows some guys.
Anevia gives you a conspiratorial wink.
Nevi! What are you on about now?
What do you mean? Do you see many people at this table who've been personally blessed by Iomedae herself?
Well, a couple perhaps.
Says the same mirthful voice that joined in before.
Iomedae's blessings are not conveyed through stones, and as public officials, we really shouldn't.
Irabeth looks to the end of the table where the voice originated, and her eyes widen as her words trail off.
I feel a little chastened after what you said about public officials. But I myself have acquired a few pieces of stone and also wish to ask our hero to breathe on them for good luck. So, what now? Are you going to toss me out of this fine establishment?
The woman dressed in unshowy finery raises her eyebrows. Oh, so it wasn't the random armored figures standing between Seelah and Vex. Not sure why the camera focused on them then. Apparently it was instead the mysterious cloaked figure sitting at our table. I feel like we would have noticed that slightly earlier. But, to be fair, I guess there is one other rando sitting right next to her.
Your Majesty.
Yes, it is I. I made the journey here to deduct the cost of repairing the garrison roof from your salary. We have not been introduced. Galfrey of Mendev.
The woman rises from her seat, approaches you, and holds out her hand. Ooh, this is tricky. As a follower of Callistria, I feel like I'm obligated to flirt with her, but at the same time, I feel like it's pretty well established that Vex has very little respect for figures of authority, and Galfrey's about as authoritative as you can get in these parts. Also, I like that Lan is just passed out at the table. Yeah, we'll go with what I feel is more of a Vex response. Well, look at this, guys. The Queen has come down from her ivory tower to join us mooks in a lowly tavern.
As you can see, yes, I am here.
The Queen notices your act of disrespect, but passes no comment, only quirking a brow and giving the tiniest of smiles.
Your Majesty, we were just... I'll have them arrange.
Irabeth, finally recovering from the shock, bolts to her feet.
Calm yourself, Commander. I deliberately came here without any fanfare because I did not wish to draw attention away from our honored hero here. My personal guard and the force I brought with me are standing watch outside the city. I ordered all your sentries to stand down. They also deserve a break. Every person who tirelessly fought to save Canabris will enjoy themselves today. And my reinforcements will ensure peace and order.
Huh. Well, I can appreciate that. Maybe I misjudged you, Your Majesty. You may have missed the fighting, but I suppose you're more than welcome to join in the festivities.
Please, don't Your Majesty me. We are in a tavern, not my court in Nerosian. Address me as you would any comrade in arms. Concerning the celebration, as you can see, I already invited myself. I couldn't pass up the chance to meet the new hero all the Crusaders are talking about. And soon, not just Crusaders.
Yeah, I am pretty great. I'm glad people are finally starting to recognize that. Sure took them long enough. And, I figure we could all use a break about now, after what we've all been through.
Because grand new deeds lie ahead, yes?
I like the way you think, Galfrey.
Your Majesty, my dear cousin.
Count, I admit I was surprised to learn that you valiantly joined the ranks of the city's defenders. Pleasantly surprised.
I live to please you, my queen. My first thought when Daskari cruelly robbed us of noble Terendelev and half of Canabris' crusaders in one fell swoop was of you, my queen, and of how these events would weigh heavily on you. No one could have foreseen the demon attack, and we have so successfully held the defense here for 4 heroic crusades.
I'm going to drown him in the nearest well this very night.
I value your dedication and your eloquence. I hope you will continue to aid our soldiers.
The Queen gives him a genuine smile.
Not a chance. You know that I am not made for the front lines. Excellent bash, but alas, I really must go. Important matters to be getting on with. A new shipment of wine from Kionin, and 3 beautiful creatures of the same provenance. But I will most assuredly come to say my farewells before your army departs on its campaign, which, wherever it may lead you, will undoubtedly be crowned with victory.
I shall hold you to that, Count. And now allow me to devote some time to the hero of the evening. I did not come here solely to give you this chance to celebrate, but all serious discussions and official announcements can wait until tomorrow. I have big, big plans for all of you, especially for you. But I want to keep you in suspense for a little while longer, so I shan't say another word. Let us mark this victory. My first toast is to you, the hero of Canabris. Now, what are we drinking?
The Queen smiles archly.
The fires of Canabris have died down. Now the army's path leads to the walls of Dresden, a fallen citadel that the Crusaders have been trying in vain to reclaim for 70 years. The new piece on the board might give their efforts some added momentum.
Quick side note, that is very clearly Arilu Vorlesh, the architect of the World Wound. We heard her voice twice back at the Grey Garrison. And given what we saw of her, it's very intriguing that she is the one who is narrating this story. I'm not sure what to make of that just yet. Is that him next to Irabeth? The hero who saved Canabris? The Queen! The Queen is coming!
Rise, warriors. Today is a day of sorrow and pride. Sorrow because we weep for our brothers and sisters who perished in Canabris. Pride because despite demonic treachery, our heroes repelled the attack and saved the city. I, Queen Golfrey of Mendev, declare this day the first day of the 5th Crusade, and I am glad to introduce the one who will lead the attack on the forces of the Abyss, the hero of Canabris, Knight Commander of the 5th Crusade, your leader from now unto victory or death. And now it's time to rest. Everyone is dismissed.
You heard the Queen. Dismissed.
There. The troop review is finished. I'll give you some time to look around the camp, and then I shall expect your presence at headquarters.
Commander, please allow me to join you while you inspect our encampment. Sure, I certainly don't see why not. This is our first mythic ability. Not much to say there. It's essentially a nerfed version of Mirror Image, but that can still theoretically come in handy. I mostly just took it for the +3 circumstance bonus to all skills at rank 2, and to keep us on the trickster path. Honestly, our big gain at rank 1 was Mythic Beast. That lets Kaz ignore damage resistance and grants a scaling bonus to his physical stats. Ah, and I guess we can't ride around in camp. Fair enough. Alright, so our first quest of Act 2 is to take a tour of our camp. So that's what we'll focus on today. We'll make the rounds, get the lay of the land, check in with our companions, and grab all that stray loot. Then next time we'll tie a few other loose ends and have a chat with the Queen. Then we can get back out in the field. I also think we'll save the storyteller for last. His stuff gets pretty in-depth. I hope we meet Daskari and Baphomet soon. I have numerous questions for them. I'm sure that'll end well. It is frightening to leave Canabris, but attacking is the best way to defend it. Alright, let's go grab everything that's not nailed down. This is mine and Denevia's tent. We're both used to traveling, but the Queen insisted our tent be furnished like a commanding officer's. Well, Irabeth, if it really makes you that uncomfortable, I will be happy to help you pare things down. Starting with this +2 half plate that also grants +2 to con. Not bad. Though obviously, magic full plate would be preferable. Briggy the Sausage Maker, we've seen that one. This massive bed is clean and neatly made. Only commanding officers are allowed such luxury during marches. That does seem slightly impractical. Ember, what are you up to? These are the fighters of the Eagle Watch. I personally chose every one that's standing here, and I'm ready to vouch for each of them. So many of our own have perished, and for what? For us to keep fighting. For a day to come when no one else will have to die. Yes, you're right. Thank you, little girl, said the 4-foot dwarf to the 6-foot elf. Sure, why not? Ember? I've seen so many happy faces today. It's so good. Fantastic. Well, keep up the good work, Ember. We're all counting on you. Just grabbing the obvious stuff for now. I'll do a more thorough sweep off screen. We took back Canabris. We'll take back Dresden, too. That's the spirit. And with a name like Crusader, I'm sure you'll go far. What are you looking up at the sky for? You think winged demons are about to fall on us? Maybe they will, but I actually just like looking at the sky. Clouds, you know. I haven't seen them since I was a kid. I almost forgot what they looked like. Ah, Lan. Hey, Vex. I was just trying to say the Knight Commander commands the knights really fast, and I almost twisted my tongue. Gosh, Lan, that is just an incredible story, and you should rush over and regale our companions with that. See you around, buddy. Ah, there you are, you dashing troublemaker, you. Daeran flashes you a self-satisfied smile. Our short acquaintance is coming to an end. Very soon you will depart on your crusade, where you'll scrape by on horrible rations, struggle vainly to fall asleep amidst snoring soldiers, be rudely awoken by freezing cold, and have to look upon the dour faces of self-righteous prigs, before you finally perish in the maw of some demon. I have a journey ahead of me, too. I've just rented a sailboat in the south. I've also hired an excellent chef, and a host of other entertainments. Well, to each their own, I suppose. Daeran, I will stab you. Daeran pauses, then suddenly adds in a more serious voice. You know, I am genuinely sad to see you go. If it sounds like mockery, forgive me. I cannot switch off my venom glands on a whim, you see. But you intrigue me. If only we could have spent a little more time together. But of course, Daeran grimaces. Not under these conditions. Let the Crusaders and the demons have at each other. With any luck, they'll take this entire sanctimonious spectacle down with them. Daeran, I will miss you. And obviously, this is yet another one of his kind of clumsy flirtations. He is not nearly as smooth as he likes to imagine he is. But, I don't really mind. It is a bit awkward at times, but, he amuses me. And, unlike in Kingmaker, I actually don't have my sights set on any particular romance. None of the ones that have popped up are particularly appealing to me. But I am curious to see where a lot of them go, so I may just go ahead and humor these guys just to see what ends up happening. Gotta say, Daeran, you kind of intrigue me too. I really wouldn't mind if you stuck around a while longer. Daeran's eyes light up a little. He is obviously pleased by your attention. Yet he answers in his typical mocking tone. Alas, life is full of disappointments. I must reject your offer. In any case, I intend to wait until the army departs. I do love a good send-off, especially when it is I who is staying and someone else who is heading off to meet a dreary and hopeless end. Sometimes it does one good to ruminate on the unfairness of life. Well then, farewell, Commander. I assume I shall be your most precious memory on this most disgusting and exhausting road to the pointless slaughter of battle. Or if not the most precious memory, then at least the most stirring. Daeran smirks before instantly losing all interest in you. Or at least he pretends to. I can just imagine him furtively peeking at us from the corner of his eye. I propose a toast to a fate well deserved. I'm too tired to stand. When will we be able to lie down? The Count is so gallant, so handsome, and most importantly, ever so rich. It's hard to imagine a more agreeable gentleman. Yes, that is certainly one way to put it. This is Anerdinwarpaint's tent. It seems she brought a lot of unnecessary items along with her. Is that so? Well, fear not, Irabeth. I think we can fix that. High lore and the secrets of the Needle Glens. I'll go ahead and toss that one onto the new pile. For Reader Episode 3. The Life and Feats of Lord Axelar Tresbot by Anerdinwarpaint, who appears to now be traveling with us, so that's interesting. I believe we read that book back in Reader Episode 1, which would give us some slight insight into her character, or at least who she used to travel with. She used to be the assistant and bibliographer for Lord Tresbot, and then we've already seen that one, so nothing major there. Ooh, we will certainly take that. Nothing all that exceptional, but I do believe we need Vanish and Expeditious Retreat. Hey, guys. A well-dressed old dwarf is lecturing a motley company, shaking her ladle at them belligerently. Noticing you, she flings up her hands. Good afternoon, your commanderness. Do you remember us? We're the crew from the next-door theater company, the one you saved in Canabris, back when you weren't your commanderness yet. As you can see, we've come on the campaign with you. We signed up to clean pots and mend the soldiers' clothes. Keeping up a theater is expensive, so we all have to take side jobs. But we don't stop what we're doing. We're going to put on a play about your legendary feats. Of course, the crowd scenes are difficult. We can't find the people to play the hordes of demons, and we decided against using a ritual to summon real demons. Luckily, we have Master Kem, He's invented a way to solve this problem, using sound. Yes, that does sound preferable to summoning actual demons. We caught a pig and some piglets who ran away from a burned-out village, the glum and husky half-orc mumbles softly. We put the piglets in a box and scare them a little, and the sound they make is just like an approaching demon horde. But the most important question is, of course, choosing the lead actor who will play the great Knight Commander. We had to write Barney over it, breaking a number of lances, as well as a shovel, a rolling pin, and a set of back scratchers. But we just couldn't decide no matter what. Maybe you can help us? We have 2 candidates that are most suited to the task. One will have the honor of conveying your heroism upon the stage, Commander. Oh, okay. So this, angry half-orc woman is supposed to play me? Oh, look, you made Makia blush. She just loves gnomes and halflings. She always regrets she wasn't born little. Why not allow the actress to live out her dream, at least on the stage? Of course, mean tongues might whisper that she only got the lead role because she's our Soundmaster's betrothed. But that is a lie. It's about the dream. And the talent. Sure. And what's with the, Cyclops? Oh, he's completely tame, believe me. Has a few issues with articulation, but what a powerful physique. We'll make him a nice costume, wash him up, brush his hair. Truth be told, in our show, you mainly just make short heroic exclamations at the fateful moments. Like, onward, or we'll never give up, or my heart burns with courage. Lambkin can definitely handle the script. I don't suppose you have any actors who aren't giants over 6 feet tall? We're a small and poorly funded theater, and we only have a few actors. But they're all so talented, one of a kind. I've chosen the ones that are the best fit for your role. Trust my vision. I have more than a few successful plays under my belt. And to be fair, I do actually really like the way they handle this. Lambkin is a constant. They always suggest him, but the other person they recommend is deliberately chosen to be as much of a polar opposite of your character as possible, at least physically. Other options I've seen pop up before are a graceful half-elf woman for big burly characters, and 2 gnomes standing on each other's shoulders to simulate a tall one, which is fantastic. In this case, though, the choice is obvious. The entire crew looks at you, holding their breath. It's gotta be Lambkin. He's the only one here who could hope to contain even a fraction of my mythical majesty. But you are going to need to get him a giant cat. Wonderful. Sorry we took you away from the important things heroes and commanders do. We're off to rehearsal. I mean, first we'll wash some pots, and then we're off to rehearsal. Let's go, you lazy lumps. Don't embarrass old Grandma now. Lovely. I do look forward to eventually seeing the play. Finally, a serious dramatic piece in our hands. Theater is my destiny. I've waited my whole life for a chance like this. Soundmaster is the most underrated profession. That's what I say. I do enjoy the occasional sounds. Lambkin is my name. I am actor. That you are, Lambkin. That you are. I really hope he does end up being an incredible actor. Oh. May Canabris be damned. Hidden under a wagon, I see. And for good reason, I imagine. Alright, we'll just add that to the pile as well. We'll get to that on the next Reader episode. A group of soldiers is talking loudly, laughing joyfully, and passing around a flask. So picture this. My sword is by the fire, there's 2 goblins about to snatch it, and 3 more are digging through my tent. And I'm sat in the bushes wearing just my mail shirt, wondering what the blast to do. An old mercenary taught me about the mail shirt. You can't sleep in armor, but it's not so bad in mail, once you get used to it. Too bad no one told me not to go in the bushes without my sword. So what did you do? What did I do? I barked like crazy. Goblins are afraid of dogs, you know, so they all went wild and started running around. I spot my sword and they spot me. So I jumped over to the fire, wearing nothing but my mail shirt, and I grabbed my sword and I yelled in my big tough voice, "Oh, Inheritor, grant me the power to crush these filthy creatures!" My sword's shining, the goblins are screaming, I jump to attack them and they fight back. But I fought them off somehow. But ever since then, I never take a step without my weapon. Seelah takes a sip from the flask. Ha ha ha, that's some story. Hey, stop! Stop gulping! Leave some for us! We've only just set off and you're already drinking? And with the Queen in the camp. Stop this at once! The knights quickly snap to attention. Seelah raises the flask and says loudly, "Right you are, Commander Tirabade. We are but drinking to the Queen's health." To the Queen. Irabeth rubs her forehead with the palm of her hand. "Commander, are you sure this is the right way to train your soldiers?" "Never mind, it's your business." Poor Tirabade. She is in for quite a ride this campaign. Also, Seelah, really living up to that lawful good paladin code, I see. Right, and we've got her companion quest, so we'll be getting to that one shortly. There are fighters here that Her Majesty brought from the capital. Neat. I think we're almost done. This is the field hospital. Alas, the clerics of Canabris suffered especially heavy losses, so we're in desperate need of healers. We are few, but the gods are with us. The prayers of good people around the world are with us. Dear lady, you've been standing here for a long time. Would you like to help? Who, me? No, I definitely would not. Please, act like I'm not here. I just like to watch people work. In an infirmary tent filled with the sick and dying. Well, one sick and dying, but still. Beautiful day, isn't it? Uh-huh. Sure is, Cam. I'd best be off. You know, commander stuff to do. Yikes. Teacher, I sharpened your quills. Good, good. I could use some quills. And where's my inkwell? A stout old man with a fuzzy gray beard greets you with a deep bow. Well met, Commander. You've caused quite a stir. Everyone thought Canabris was done for, but the gods had other plans. That was quite the blaze over the great garrison. All the vermin running out with their tails between their legs. Yeah, it was pretty fantastic. So you're coming out into the field with us? Okay, looks like this is all just repeated dialogue. Yeah, so no point in going through all this again. We will, however, have a quick peek at his inventory, because he should have a new set of items, including one that we really want. Slightly outside of our price range right now, but we should be able to make that once we sell off all this vendor trash. The Salamander Ring is pretty much vital for Ember if you're planning on running her as a blaster. It gives her some much-needed firepower. I'll get that taken care of off-screen. Alright, what's left? Quartermaster, I think. Oh, and a chapel tent. We outfitted this tent to be used as our chapel. Even the less pious crusaders will come here to say their prayers when the final battle is upon us. I've seen it happen in my previous campaigns. An altar of Sarenrae, the healing light, the goddess of the sun, healing, and redemption. An altar of Desna, the great dreamer, the goddess of freedom, travel, luck, and dreams. This place has been sanctified. It can protect the area around it from the corruption of the abyss. Right, which marks this whole camp as a safe zone. An altar of Iomade, the light of the sword, the goddess of justice and valor, and the patron of the Crusades. An altar of Erastil, Old Deadeye, the god of hunting, farming, and the quiet pastoral life. An altar of Torag, the father of creation, the dwarven god of craft and kin. Interesting, I can't help but notice there's no altar to Callistria. But gosh, who would be silly enough to worship that frivolous, hedonistic, vengeful goddess? Oh. Ah, right. These are the Knights of Canabris, all that's left of the order that were billeted in the city. First Irabeth, now some new upstart commander. Our queen sure does like them wet behind the ears. What did you say, sir? Nothing, Commander Tirababe. Happy to serve. Yeah, you better run. Anyway, I think that just leaves the quartermaster, so... This is the supply train, and this is our quartermaster, Wilcer Garms. Go to him for supplies. Hail, Commander. Yes, 3 cheers for the Commander. Now answer my questions. Where are the mail shirts? According to the paperwork, we're supposed to have 50. I personally deposited the money for them in the Army's treasury. Then why is there hardtack in the barrels that are supposed to be filled with corned beef? I demand answers. Oh, Horgus. Just being Horgus, I say. But he is trying to help in his own way. Your corned beef's in the cooking pots. Turns out it was from last year. Needs to be eaten before it spoils. And we're saving the hardtack for now. As for the mail shirts, they're on the troops. That's what they're for, aren't they? Not for me to rest my jacksie on when the lads are heading off to battle soon. Wilcer would do well in the customer service industry. Hey, Waldjeff. The Queen is expecting you, Knight Commander, so I shall not detain you. We can talk later, after our sovereign departs. The burly soldier with an impressive beard greets you with a broad smile. Wilcer Garms, the camp quartermaster at your service. How may I be of help? Wilcer, it is a pleasure to meet you. Tell me about yourself. The quartermaster looks away sheepishly. There isn't much to tell, really. I was born in Canabris in a humble family. I got an education, taught myself to read and write, got drafted into the army, spent 3 years as a shield bearer in the first line. I left after I did my time and joined the Stonemasons Guild, then moved on to the shipwrights and rose to a crew chief. Sailed to Iobaria twice and returned with goods. Made some money, built a house, but haven't started a family yet. I think I will after we're done with this war. But a few years ago, something started gnawing at me. I got this feeling like I needed to go home, that there was a storm headed for my native city. And when there's trouble in Mendev, there's only one thing to do. You go to the recruiter and sign up for the army. And so I did. At first they wanted to make me an infantry sergeant, but then they decided I'd be a better fit in the supply department. I can take care of army property, and I'm pretty handy around the warehouse, not to mention I know how to manage a band of helpers. And so that's how I became a quartermaster. Wilcer gives you a shy smile and shrugs, as if this were a wholly unremarkable story, typical of any crusader. Wow, okay. So what do you actually do around here? Yeah, a little bit of everything. What's an officer to a soldier? A strict father. So what does this make a quartermaster like myself? Something like their mum, that's what. I make sure the lads have everything they need to defeat the enemy and come back from battle in one piece. Wilcer starts ticking off his fingers. That means food, firewood, medicine, tents, mended clothes, fixed weapons. The horses gotta be fed and watered. The camp's gotta be fortified by the evening and broken up by the morning. I make sure the wages are paid on time and the wagon wheels don't squeak. And then there are reports. Gods, until you asked, I never realized how many duties I actually have. Yeah, well, better you than me, Garms. So what's the word around the camp about me? The dashing new commander. They mostly tell tales about your unusual power, but they don't shy away from talking about you as a person, too. Soldiers are always like that. If Iomedae herself descended from heaven, you bet they'd jabber on about how she grips her sword and how good she looks in her armor. Word is you're a skilled fighter, much faster and more dangerous than a knight in full armor, that you rush around the battlefield like the wind, and no demon can outrun you, that before someone can even finish blinking, the commander will be standing beside them, even though he was nowhere to be seen a second before. I should say that I came up with that last one myself, and did my best to drop it into conversation whenever I could. Teaches the rank and file not to let their guard down, if they know their superior could pop up behind them at any moment. Well, I do appreciate that, Wilcer. Also, I like the minor bit of reactivity here. I think that's tailored specifically to our class, or maybe our mythical path. I want to say we got something completely different for Creed. Word is you've spent more time in the wilderness than in cities, that you can read tracks on the ground better than any book, and tell the weather 3 days ahead by the shape of the clouds. And that means that following you into the wound isn't a scary thing to do. Okay, that is definitely based on our class. So I guess that would imply the other one is based on, I guess that would be somewhat fitting for Trickster. So, yeah, that might be based on our mythic path. And then, obviously, Wilcer is our primary source for assorted magic weapons and armor while we're here in camp. Though, I'm not sure he's really got anything that's well-suited for Vex or Kaz. Anyway, I'll give that a closer look off-screen. That red salamander has to be our first priority purchase anyway, so everything else is secondary right now. Do you know what the Queen does to people who keep her waiting? I don't, but I know better than to find out. Wow, getting a lecture in responsibility from Waldjeff. This has taken a strange turn. Good day. Do you remember me? I'm Jernog. We spoke in the Defender's Heart. So you're the commander of the Crusade now? Erastil knows it's hard to imagine someone worthier of taking up the post than the savior of Canabris. May the good gods help you prevail. Hey, buddy. Wasn't expecting to see you here. So you've decided to sign up after all? Don't take it amiss, but no, I haven't. I have my own task. I am needed in Chili Creek, a tiny hamlet which, due to some oversight, has been left without a priest for these many years. I'm about to set sail for there. I'll be making my journey along Old Man Salin. Right. So that was slightly new, but again, it's mostly retread dialogue. I guess that's just to give the player a second chance to grab his quest, if they've somehow missed it back in the Defender's Heart. Alright, I believe that is an almost full sweep. Aside from the storyteller, of course, but like I said, we're saving him for last. We do have some loot we missed, so let's go grab that. All right, folks. I think we're actually at a pretty good stopping point here. We do still need to talk to the storyteller, but that conversation's pretty lengthy. I think we've got like 3 different quests we have to turn into him. And then we also have to meet with the queen, and we've got some other things to take care of around camp. But I think we're in pretty good shape to finish all that next time. And then we should be able to get back out in the field. We'll probably start with Seelah's thing. That should be right outside of Canabris. At any rate, we'll go ahead and hit the pause button for now. I'll do another lap around the camp just to make sure we didn't miss any hidden loot caches. And I'll take care of our off-screen bookkeeping. See if I can eke together enough cash to grab that ring for Ember. But we will pick up here next time, as we chat with the storyteller and the queen, tie up a few other loose ends around camp, and that should get us right up to the cusp of heading back out. Adventure awaits. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon. Links are in the description.
Now, what are we drinking?